Hello my dear students, hope you are really doing great and safe. So welcome to exam work. We are going to start a new course focusing on data structures and algorithms. As we all know that in order to get placed in multinational companies like Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, we need to have a good power of data structures and algorithm, which is one of the essential skill as well as something major stuff that you need to know. So welcome to Exam Work. I'm Shrapti, your course instructor. I'm doing my masters in data science and I am a data scientist as well as a full stack developer. So now, before getting into the data structures algorithm, first we need to understand prerequisites, which is essential to know. If you are a student or a working professional, or even if you are a school kid who want to learn DSA, then this course is going to give you enough amount of knowledge to get into the track of software development and DSA. So first thing first, what is the prerequisites to learn DSA? I'll tell you something, okay? Let me tell you everything from scratch. So data structures and algorithms. So there are actually two parts. That means data structure is one of the separate part and algorithm is one of the separate part. So by involving two things into a one major stuff, you're going to implement so many features. I'll tell you everything in the upcoming classes so that you can able to understand even more better. So first thing first, when it comes to prerequisites, there are three things that you must have. Whether you are a student, working professional or a school kid, it doesn't matter. Having a computer of minimum 8 GB is actually preferable, and you must learn everything in laptop. That is actually way more better, because in phone you can watch the videos, but when it comes to coding, you just need to switch into IDE and write the code and execute it. It is not actually preferable to use phone, but for to watch the videos on phone, it's okay. Mobile phone is good for watching the lectures, but when it comes to actual practice of a coding, you can prefer laptop. So after that, curiosity to learn, you just need to understand what is the problem, how to identify the problem, and how we can able to break the complex problem into small manageable parts. That is very really important. Curiosity is must actually, and consistent practice is really important when it comes to problem solving. See, if your goal is to get placed in Google, Amazon or Apple, then initially consistent practice is really important. So that shows how determined you are towards your goal. Consistent practice means like you need to be really solving the problems for the 8 months without any break. So if that is the case, then of course you're going to get placed in good company of your choice. So that is the basic prerequisites that you must know. So after that, we just covered what are the prerequisites. Now I'll tell you what is actually computer. In simple, see, it is a digital device that follows your instruction. See, it is like our maid. So in India, what we do, this is me for example, and I am a working professional, so I don't have time to do dinner, lunch and everything. So I'm going to arrange a maid. So I will be giving her instructions what to do. So after going to office, that is at 9 a.m. and evening, if I come back, every work will be done by the maid. So that means getting things done. So for example, if a maid is taking 3 hours to clean, to wipe and to finish all the work that I have given, so it is actually taking 3 hours, okay? So what if the computer is taking actually 0.03 seconds? So that is what the computer, the difference between digital device as well as humans. See, computer is one of the smart device in which you can give your instruction to get your things done in a more efficient manner so that you can also feel productive. So computer is actually a made without feelings. Okay, it will actually tell everything whatever you have said. I don't know whether you guys remember or not. There is a movie called Robot in which superstar Rajinikanth will say, "Hey Robo, please put on the TV." So what he will do, he will just take the television and just put it down. As you can see, the communication between human and the machine is actually exactly what the human will say. So robots and machines don't have feelings at all. So that's the introduction of computers. So now, what is actually hardware and software? So in 1950s, we have a LCD display of a monitor. It will be like this. Okay, and we have a keyboard, we have a wired mouse, we have a CPU followed by speakers. So this is 1950s model. It is called liquid crystal display. So after that, in 2000, what happened is we got LED model. So this bulky backside of the monitor is actually reduced to the slim size like this, and we got wireless keyboard and mouse. I don't know whether it is looking like keyboard or not, but I'm sorry. Okay, now in 2015 model, everything got reduced. We got laptops. Not only in 2015, in earlier 2000 period we got introduction to laptops. That means we can carry laptops to everywhere, since it is very slim and somewhat weight in 2000. But now we are in a stage of micro computers. That means even a small device, whatever we are carrying, is actually a computer. Computer means it follows our instruction to get things done faster and efficient. So what is hardware and software? See, these are the things: speakers, keyboard, mouse, are all hardwares. In simple, what I can say is hardware means physical parts of the computer. Okay, and what do you mean by software then? Which are the parts which is not visible by us is called software. Let me tell you the example. There is a Microsoft Excel file or application in Windows. That is actually software. And even you use WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook nowadays. That is also softwares. So softwares mean a parts of the computer which are not visible to us, that we cannot touch. But when it comes to hardware, we can touch the mouse, CPU, monitor, keyboard, speakers, everything. So now we are in a stage of mini technology. Mini technology means everything is actually nanoparts. Nano means studying about small particles. Things like this now reduced to small laptops. For example, MacBook M5 and 32 GB RAM. How fast it is. So you see the evolution, right? This is how computers are actually manufactured, built, and the development is in progress. So software means non-physical parts. I can give you another example. For example, we are human being and we are here for a purpose, right? We are in this world, it is because of something to get done. So our human body is actually hardware, and our soul is actually software. We can't able to see our soul, we can able to sense it by the hardware, by our human body. So that's the difference between hardware and software. So now there are some basic terminologies that we need to understand before moving forward. So CPU, RAM and storage. So what is actually CPU? In human beings, we have a major component. What we have is brain. So what is the purpose of brain? The purpose of the brain is to remember things, to process something, to calculate, and even to talk or respond. So this is what our brain will be doing. We will be getting the what are the things that we need to do in your day-to-day life. We will just list it out and everything we will do, right? That is the purpose of human brain. Now when it comes to CPU, that is a central processing unit. It is a brain for a computer. So computer even has a brain, and that is CPU. So the faster the CPU is, the every processes will be very faster and efficient. So it is based on the CPU. So if the CPU is really fast, every task that you are instructing to your computer is really fast. So CPU is actually considered as the brain of the computer. Now what is the RAM actually? RAM stands for random access memory. Say for an example, this is the library desk, or you can say this is a bookshelf in which there are so many books here. You are sitting in a round table, you're just studying it. So this bookshelf is called storage, and you are going there and getting some books and studying here. So this is called RAM. In simple words, what I can say is so I'll tell you a simple example. Just take your phone and go to WhatsApp. So now you are using WhatsApp. It is because of RAM is actually giving access from the storage. So there is a storage called secondary storage and primary storage. So in secondary storage, WhatsApp, Facebook, settings, file manager, everything is actually stored in our mobile. But if you want to access it, RAM is actually running on it. So if your RAM is 8 GB, that means you can run multiple apps. If your RAM is 16 GB, then you can open multiple tabs at once and make your work to be really faster. So based on the RAM size, our work will be really fast. Storage, in storage we have two storage, that is hard disk drive and solid state drive. So that is enough for this particular basic introduction class. So we need to know what is the purpose of input and output. See, when two people are communicating, when two people are actually into conversation, what they actually do? This is person A and this is person B. A person A is actually saying, please give me laptop. So what he is doing is, he is taking the laptop and giving to him. So what you can say is, person A is actually giving the input and person B is processing it using his brain and giving the output. I will tell you with an example. See, CPU, okay, it is a major component of the computer. It works like this: input, it processes it, processing, and output. So computer is actually asking the user from the input. For example, I am going to instruct enter a number. between 1 to 10. So computer will ask me a question, enter a number between 1 to 10. I'm going to enter 5. So again I'm going to enter a number 10 to 15. So I'm going to put 10, and if I want to sum, it will be giving 15. So this is the input, this is the output. It's very simple. I'm going to ask your name. What is your name? You will process it with your brain and give me, my name is Francis, my name is Prakash, like this. So input and output is one of the very important parameters when it comes to programming. Alright, so first thing, this is very important. So what is actually program? So before getting into what is actually program, we just need to know why programming languages really exist in computer. You see, when humans are actually communicating, what languages they do use? They use English, Tamil, Hindi, Kannadam or Marathi. When two peoples are actually communicating, they use any one of the language, because humans need to know that language, and the one who is speaking is also need to know more about the language. So if I say, hello, can you give me some coffee? If you ask this to humans will understand it and he will buy you or order your coffee. But if you instruct this to the machine is not going to understand. Then what our scientists as well as some developers in the early 90th centuries has identified is, they are constructed a machine. That machine is called machine language. So machine language means everything 10100001. So you may be coined them as on or off. So 1 means on, 0 means off. I can represent them as true or false. So it goes like this. Computers is going to understand digital signals, that is a combination of ones and zeros. So the programming languages existed. It is because to communicate with the computer using a programming language. Nowadays the programming language, see, machine language we can't able to learn, because can you able to understand this? No, we can't able to understand. So this is actually machine language, and there is something called high level language that we are going to learn now, that is Python, C, C++, Java, Kotlin. There are n number of high level languages are actually there. So in order to communicate with the computer, we need a programming language. There is a levels of programming language. We are choosing high level programming language. It is because that will be understood by most of the humans. Not most of the humans, only humans. So in order to communicate with the computer, we have something called high level language, and that will be converting into machine level language to feed the instruction. So that's how programming languages exist. Okay, now what is a program? Why do we need program? We just seen some examples before. See, if you want to make a tea or a chai, what you will do? Step 1, you will take a glass of milk. Step 2, you will add some water. Tea powder. And step 3, you will steam it or keep it in stove. Step 4, after certain time limit, your chai or tea is ready. And step 5, you will drink it. Stop. That's it. So now you can understand It is a step-by-step instruction. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and results are getting, that is getting things done. So this is what a program is. Program is nothing but a set of instruction which is written by a programmer. Why? To make the to make the computer to understand. So this is human, this is machine. Okay, we are programmers. We are programmers, and we use programming languages to make systems to understand, and that will be converting into machine level languages. After that, it is an input, it processes it and gives the output back. So this is how programming and program works. Hope you understand the basic definition of what is a programming, why do we need programming languages, who is a programmer, and these stuffs are really way important. Now we're going to end the session in the next 3 minutes, but this is just an introductory session. We need to cover what is actually bug. What we need to know about it. See, what is actually bug? In computer terminology, in 1947, I don't know precisely, so when scientists are actually working towards successful mission, okay, they are actually working for one task or a process. Okay, during that huge missions, one of the moth, or like housefly you can say, that actually came into that particular mission and damaged the workflow. So that is where a word coined there. So that is where they coined the term called bug. Bug means it prevents the execution of the program. It's, you can say, error. For example, you are opening your Instagram and unfortunately it is logging out successfully without your permission. So that is called bug. If you are actually opening a WhatsApp and you can't able to like the particular message or comment something like that, it is not happening even though if you are doing it, that is called bug. So bug means a factor that is involved in computer programming which prevents the execution. So that is actually called bug, and we have something called debugging, which means resolving the errors in a program. We are rectifying it, that is called debugging. So ninth one is for to get master in data structures and algorithm, we need a logical thinking. So what I mean logical thinking means we just need to stay curious, consistent, we need to solve the problems fast as possible, because the interviewer is going to expect you what approach, what methodology, what type of data structure and what algorithm you have used and chosen to solve the problem. So time and space constraints plays a vital role. So logical thinking is really important. In computer programming, if you don't have a logical thinking, then you just need to improve it. So it's all about having the good sound knowledge of mathematics. So mathematics means you just need to quickly solve the problem and you need to give the logic correctly. So by having all these prerequisites as well as some information, we can start into data structures and algorithm more efficiently. So that's the conclusion of this particular lecture 1, that is focused towards to become a data structures algorithm programmer. So this is more than enough to cover into the data structures algorithm track. In the next lecture, I'll be posting some fundamentals of programming paradigm that you need to know, so that it will be really easy for you to cover each and every important concept involved in DSA. So make sure you need to stay consistent and curious to learn all this course in one shot. Thank you for choosing Exam Evoke. Have a nice day.